Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to our new episode about Turkish citizenship.
In case you failed to notice, we deleted our previous two episodes for the Turkish Citizenship program because I think we over-explained some things.
We over-explained and also we mentioned some of the financial information, and everything moves very fast in Turkey, unfortunately. It was a video we shoot after the elections.
Yes.
And things have progressed actually the way we anticipated. However, we wanted to shoot a new video, a wrap-up video and a current video about the situation of the program and the financial aspect as well.
On this video, we're just going to cover the 101 aspects of the Turkish citizenship program. So we will just go over the basics, just to cover the must-have knowledge you would need in order to apply to the program. And it will serve as a starting ground for the future, more complex videos. And we keep hearing this, a certain thing from our viewers. Everybody assumes we would be hard to reach, but we are extremely easy to reach. Just use the phone number on the description section of the video, or directly shoot us an email, or even a comment would do the job, and we will get back to you involving any of your questions. So Ece, how much does it cost to get the Turkish citizenship?
Let me explain it very quickly because next week it might change. So there are a few ways to apply to Turkish citizenship program, and a brief information about the program. It has been nearly 3-4 years. The program actually is not new. However, the investment amount was lowered to 250,000 USD, and last year it was increased to 400,000 for the real estate option. This is the most known and the most popular way. And as we have discussed in our previous videos, most of the investors would like to invest something very tangible that they can see, they can touch. So real estate, usually the popular program in all of the citizenship by investment programs actually. There are also other ways to apply to the program. So first of all, real estate, 400,000 USD right now. And the other one is bank deposit pay. It is 500,000 USD. And you keep it for 3 years in your bank account. It's blocked by you, not by the government. So whenever you want to withdraw it, of course, considering that you're going to lose your citizenship right, you can withdraw it. So it's not a blockage by the government. And 3 years later, you withdraw it and you keep your passport. And the other way is creating jobs. So you have a company here, you employ 50 people, you maintain this number of employees for 3 years, and then afterwards you can close your company, or you're not required to keep this number of employees, and you keep your passport. The other one is fund investment. Fund investments threshold is 500,000 USD. So this could be public funds, this could be real estate funds, and this could be venture capital funds. There are many options with that, but these are not very well advertised.
I think the program is very much dominated by the real estate industry. They are the guys promoting this program because it's a very easy way to sell real estate. But honestly, like I'm usually very investment funds averse, but in the Turkish case, I think it should be more popular.
As I review from the numbers in our law office, it's not very popular, but it is because that people don't get much offers about it. Even a client comes, it is very difficult for me to find the options, but we have. Usually the public funds, even the municipality have a fund for it. And it's a very secure way, as you can guess. So let's delve in more to the real estate investment. So at first it was 250. In 2019, you were able to buy 2 apartments with it.
Yes.
Right now, it's almost impossible to buy 1 apartment in the city center. So currently, the offers for 400,000 USD, usually off-plan properties.
More or less.
And so off-plan properties are citizenship eligible, provided that they have the title deed. And also, the most important thing is the appraisal report also reaches 400,000 USD. So if we summarize for the real estate investment, The actual money transfer needs to be over 400,000 USD. The appraisal report needs to be over 400,000 USD. And before a legislation change, we used to calculate the title deed value that needs to exceed 400,000 USD. However, with the current legislation, the amount you bring to Turkey in USD or in any other foreign currency needs to be converted to Turkish lira according to the central bank's rate. And afterwards, this exact amount is written in the title deed. So what we need...
I have a question.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt, but can we divide in the current legislation the investment between smaller apartments, or was it the combination is not allowed anymore?
So to answer the question, yes. If you are buying the property through title deed office, you're getting the property rights, you can buy multiple ones. And you need to reach 400,000 USD combined. However, if you're making a notarized sales contract, in that case, you need to buy one apartment.
Okay. This was what confused me, because even though we're in the investment side of the Turkish Citizenship by Investment program, it has been evolving super fast in the last 3-4 months. And honestly, we keep losing track of what's going on.
Usually, the citizenship by investment programs are susceptible to the geopolitical changes and also inner country dynamic changes. So we had an election and wars have been happening nearby Turkey. So all of them affected the program's legislation decisions. So I don't think it's a coincidence that after the Ukraine-Russia conflict, we had the investment amount increase, because it was very well known that the Russian investors would come to Turkey. And also one change that affected the real estate market immensely, before the legislation, few families, maybe a few brothers, sisters, they would come and buy a luxury unit, maybe over 1 million USD, and few families were able to get citizenship for all of them. Right now, it's not possible. So it shows that government wanted the 400, 500,000 USD worth units to be sold to the citizenship investors.
Take us through the process, please. Let's say I arrived in Turkey. I have the 400K you want from me. How do I get the citizenship?
First of all, you don't even have to be in Turkey. So in like most of the programs, it starts with a power of attorney. You issue a power of attorney, including the property sales rights and also the application to citizenship. We do the due diligence. So before seeing the appraisal report, before making sure that this property is eligible to citizenship and also worth more than 400,000, you don't make any payment, maybe like a small reservation fee. And after the due diligence is done, we plan the payment. You have few choices. Either you make the payment directly from abroad to the developer or the seller, or you would come to Turkey, or you include banking powers in the power of attorney and we open a bank account, and you would make the transfer from your Turkish bank account to the developer or seller. Or you could use an escrow. You would make this payment to your lawyer or someone you designated by a power of attorney, and then the authorized person would make the payment. And the central bank conversion document, it can be issued two ways. Either you get it first before making the payment and you make the payment in Turkish lira, or you would make the payment in USD or euros and the seller gets the central bank conversion document. So it's not very strict requirement that you get it, but I prefer to get it myself for my clients. Because I know we will talk about the recurrent problems in the program, but most of them arises from the central bank conversion document. And if the seller is not experienced about it, if they get this document wrong, it is almost impossible to correct it. That's why I like to get the central bank conversion document myself, so that I know that it would be suitable and compliant for the citizenship program. So I said we make the payment. However, if the seller is not a company, we don't make the payment first. We get the central bank conversion document. We apply to title deed office. And at the date of the appointment that we get the title deed, on that date we make the payment. However, if you're working with a well-known developer, a company who has assets, then we don't find it very risky to make the payment upfront. In usually 1 week or 2 weeks, the title deed appointment is made, and we get the title deed on that day. And also the same day, we put the annotation for not to sell for 3 years in purpose of citizenship. Afterwards, this document is sent from the local title deed office. Let's say we are in Şişli. From Şişli title deed office, it goes to Directorate of Title Deed Office. And this is the authority who issues the certificate of conformity, the famous certificate of conformity. If there are any investors who already get the Turkish citizenship, you know that this is the most critical document, because this document separates the investment process and immigration process. After we get the certificate of conformity, then we move on to the immigration process.
How does that work?
Afterwards, it's residency application and citizenship application. A newly changed rule is that investor needs to come to Turkey and give biometrics for the residency application. It wasn't like that before, but it's a new security protocol. So technically, this is the only time investor needs to come here. So you can even start the process abroad. I know real estate is not something maybe you want to decide through online purchase. However, most of my clients did it, especially in the COVID lockdown times. Still, there are some people doing it. Let's say you maybe seen the property before, or you trust a friend here, and you can start the process abroad by a power of attorney. All of this process I have explained so far can be done without you even stepping a foot. And in the residency application, we welcome you here. We accompany you. And after the biometrics and after the residency application, about 3 weeks later, once the residency is approved, we apply to citizenship application. It takes roughly, depending on the backlog of the officers, 3-4, in cases 4.5 months. And when we get the approval documents, you have 2 options. Either you would come here, we will accompany you to the civil registry office, you give the biometrics and take your ID and passport, or you would apply in a Turkish consulate where you have residency in. That's how you became a citizen.
I see. Pretty straightforward when comparing to most of the other programs. But what sort of documents should I prepare beforehand for the application?
So basically, the process constitutes of 2 parts, investment part and immigration part. In the investment part, only the power of attorney and the translation of your passport is enough. In the immigration part, we usually need the birth certificate and the marital status document. However, for the other documents, I cannot give a general information because every investor's family structure is different. If they have a child born out of wedlock, then we need some extra documents. But in every case, we need birth certificate and the marital status document.
So overall, we covered the basics of the investment types we can make, how much we need to commit, the process before and after the investment. But we missed a small part, I think. Who qualifies with one single investment to get the passport?
Investor's spouse, their children under 18.
I see.
And Turkish government is very strict on the 18. However, if they have separate children, so for example, the spouse has a children from a different marriage, they're also qualified.
That's very interesting. Did we have this case before?
I had.
I think you did. Of course, each of these cases need to be evaluated in itself to understand what sort of an investment we can make, to include the rest of the family, what sort of deals can be created. It's a case-by-case examination we need to do before you apply to create the best path forward.
Anyone interested or already in the process, please be aware of these things. Appraisal report. Some of the appraisal companies or developer doesn't give you the report. This is not okay. You need to see it before you make the payment, before you sign that title deed. You can ask it from your lawyer, we are authorized to go to the title deed office and see it ourselves, even they don't provide you this report. So this is very important. And also, if someone is offering you Turkish citizenship for 100,000, 200,000, there are some schemes they're planning, and it has been done, but we also hear many citizenship cancellations.
So, because in order to provide the cashback, they are inflating the appraisal report to reach 400K, but the government investigates and they cancel these appraisal reports that are inflated. And the basis of your citizenship application disappears. And this will even lead to cancellation of your citizenship.
Yes. And not just the cashbacks, also buybacks. So people made notarized sales contracts. They said, you don't have to give me the full amount, just give me some as a fee. And afterwards, I will buy back this property. They can understand. The person who sold it buys it back to the wife, cousin, someone else. And these have been discovered by the authorities. I'm hearing it in our lawyer groups. There are many citizenship cancellations because of this. So once you get the passport, it's not a guarantee. If your investment had some faults, these are, like Ahmet said, retroactively can be discovered and your citizenship might be cancelled. So please be aware of these two things, even though you don't work with us, just as a warning.
So, and one small thing to add on top of what you said, the buybacks. If the guys who promised the buyback do not actually buy back the property, you cannot take them to court. There is no enforcement. The moment you take them to court, you are declaring, you are doing something against the principles of the program. You are not allowed to enter into any buyback schemes under the Turkish Citizenship by Investment program. So the investment needs to be at risk. And there are a lot of companies who promise this. I mean, it will explode in 3 years' time. They're not going to buy them back.
It started to explode this week.
It already did. That's good. So the $1 million question, will the minimum investment be increased in the Turkish citizenship program?
There is always a rumor about it. Always. It has been 4 years. There wasn't a time this wasn't being discussed. It's understandable because the inflation is very high in Turkey. But this is seriously being discussed right now. Unofficial information is the investment amount for property residency is already increased, effective of 16th of October. And also, parallel to this, it's being discussed that citizenship investment amount also going to be increased. I don't know the amount because there is no official information yet. So as of now, 400,000 is a legal limit.
Another question, because this is what everybody is concerned about. Can you give us the step-by-step timeline from the start to getting the citizenship?
For the investment stage, it actually depends on the investor and how fast they are deciding on the investment type, the property, and also making the payment, etc. However, I can start when the funds are ready, the payments are done. The title deed process usually takes a week. The certificate of conformity takes 3 weeks. So 1 month, we can safely give it for the investment. After the certificate of conformity, now it depends on the investor. If they are fast enough to come here and give the biometrics, it can be done anytime after we have the certificate of conformity. Let's say they arrived immediately. And we can give 3 weeks, let's say a month, for the residency to be approved. So in approximately 2 months, we can apply to citizenship. Depending on the workload of officers, it would take 3 to 4.5 months to get the citizenship. So overall, it would take between 5 to 6.5 months to get the passport.
I think still very reasonable.
Considering the other programs.
Exactly. So these days, a Portuguese golden visa takes more than 1.5 years. So it's a...
For the PR.
Exactly.
No.
It's not even...
For the residency.
Definitely. So it's a residency program that takes 1.5 years. And considering that, getting the citizenship of a really, honestly solid country that opens a lot of doors for you globally and provides somewhere where you can do business, where you can live your life, get top of the line education, healthcare. And by top of the line, I mean top of the line. A lot of foreign dignitaries come to Turkey to educate their children, to get health procedures done, not just the hair transplants. I mean, real, very complicated procedures. So basically, you're eligible for this, and most people fail to see if you enroll to the Turkish public.
Social security system.
Exactly. If you enroll to the social security system, you just pay, I don't know, parking and 100 Turkish liras, $5 to get a health check. In even if you set your insurances right, you can get this even from private hospitals. So it's really giving back something. So 6 months to get all these privileges, I think it's quite fast.
I thought you were going to mention the social security system to get them retired from Turkey.
They can.
This is also an option. And after you become the citizen, if you pay the timeline for the social security has been paid in your own country, you can continue the payments in Turkey. And afterwards, you can be retired and get the pension from here.
So there are many use cases to use the Turkish citizenship. We already have a video discussing what you can do after you get your citizenship, but we will forward you to that video right after this one.
I think we just missed out why part. So another video would be about why Turkish citizenship would be suitable and for who, not for everybody, of course. If you're looking for a Schengen access, it's not your route. However, if you need a strong and valid passport that is going to be stick by you by the end of times, and also future generations will also get the citizenship. So we will discuss about who acquired Turkish citizenship, with what purposes, why Turkey was their safe haven. We can discuss about that later. So thank you for watching and hope to see you in our next video.
Don't forget to put your questions, comments in the comments section. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can reach out to us by using the phone numbers or the email address that we left in the description of this video. See you.
Bye-bye.